What is up, YouTube? It's Lions Fan Express coming at you with that man-to-man press. And in today's video, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 running back prospects for the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, comparing it to last year's draft, there's not the same level of elite talent at the top, but there still are some really good backs in this class that can do some really good things. There's backs that can catch out of the backfield. There's some backs that are more power backs. There's some bell cow backs. There's backs that can do a little bit of everything. And with the grading system that I have in place, a lot of these guys are graded very similar. So there's not a lot of separation between these players that I have on my list. But what separates them is, just small nuances in their game that, I was watching film on and just, was trying to pick up on when I was watching their film, diving into their stats, diving into interviews, all that stuff that I take into consideration when evaluating a player. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's take a look at my top 5 running backs. So starting off at number 5, I have Bucky Irving from Oregon. He's 5'10", 195 pounds, so a little bit more on the smaller side. But in my grading system, he got an 84, which is about a mid to late second round grade. So pretty solid. When you look at his player comparison, to me, he's kind of like Amir Abdullah. They have similar skill sets, similar size, similar production. And when you look at his 2023 stats, he had 186 yards or 186 carries, 1,180 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, and a 6.3 average. And this is what I had to say about Bucky Irving after watching his film. He plays a lot bigger than his size. He has the heart and never gives up. He can make people miss, catch the ball out of the backfield, and is lightning quick when he gets to the second level. Because of his size, he will struggle with the physicality of the NFL, and he could be more injury prone because of that. He's a change of pace back and could be a situational third down receiving guy, but his lack of pass blocking experience and his small frame eliminate him from being a bell cow back. I have him as my 5th best back in this class, not only because of his skill, but because of his heart and loyalty to his team. He is a day 2 pick in my opinion, and I really liked his film. At number 4, I have Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. He's 6'2", 245 pounds, so probably one of the biggest backs in this class. He also received an 84 grade in my system, so mid to late second round is kind of my projection for him. My player comparison was actually A.J. Dillon. I feel like they have very similar attributes. They're both the same size, bigger backs that have a little bit of burst and speed to them, and they're just really hard to bring down. They're physical guys. And when you look at his 2023 stats, he had 181 carries for 984 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, and 5.4 average. So nothing really too crazy to write home about, but still pretty solid numbers across the board. And when I was watching his tape, this is kind of the things that jumped out to me on his tape at first was his size. At 6'2", 245 pounds, Braylon Allen is a massive runner that plays with great strength, aggression, and power as a runner. He has good balance, athleticism, and speed for a guy his size, which allowed for him to be a very productive running back at Wisconsin in his career. He does have issues with ball security. That's a big one for me as an evaluator, which is huge when you're a running back trying to make an NFL roster. He has shown flashes as a receiver out of the backfield, but the big question will be, can he pass block so he can be out there on third downs? I think he is a good power back that could complement a speed back in a power run system, but his glaring struggles with pass protection and ball security makes him a day 2 pick. And then at number 3, I have Jonathan Brooks from Texas. He's 6 foot, 207 pounds. He earned an 85 overall grade, which is an early second. And his player comparison for me is Rashad White. When I was watching his film, I'm not going to lie, Jonathan Brooks is dynamic as a running back, and he really impressed me when I was watching him play. He's very elusive. I mean, he led the college football in missed tackles, which is a pretty impressive feat if you ask me. He has good size, speed, balance, and catching ability. I mean, the list goes on. I love his tape. I really do. He's that guy when you watch and say he's going to play on Sundays. Unfortunately, he suffered a torn ACL. It was reported to be a clean tear, but at the end of the year, and how he comes off that injury will affect his draft position. I'm cautiously optimistic that he can bounce back, but I'm still choosing to err on the side of caution. He would probably be my number one running back if he wasn't injured. However, I still give him an 85 grade, which is an early round second pick, because I'm just that high on him as a player. And at number 2, I have Blake Corm from Michigan. He's 5'8", 213 pounds. He earned an 86 overall grade, which is a late first. His player comparison, I had to kind of think about this. Part of me was thinking maybe Darren Sproles or potentially like Boston Scott. But when I really kind of thought about it and dove more into it, he reminds me a lot of Kenneth Walker III. They're both similar sizes, both short, kind of smaller backs, built, but very fast, very strong, very aggressive runners, and both had very good success at the college level. When you look at his 2023 stats, 258 carries for 1,245 yards, 27 touchdowns, and a 4.8 average. Yeah, the average probably isn't as high as you'd like it to be, but 27 touchdowns, that's he has no problem finding the end zone. Blake Corm might be a smaller back, but he plays like he has Derrick Henry size. He's a physically aggressive back whose low center of gravity, burst, and balance allow him to hit the hole, and his strong lower body keeps him churning, picking up additional yards after contact. His intangibles are there as well. He's a captain that does a lot for his community. He's humble. He has good faith, and he just seems like an overall good teammate during his interviews. He hasn't really shown the ability to be a consistent receiver out of the backfield, but the potential is there. He really needs to work on pass pro and holding on to the rock if he wants to make it big in the NFL. Some might have him graded lower, but I like his skill set, and I could see him doing well in the NFL. I have a late first round grade on him, but I could see him falling to the day 2 because of those other mild concerns. And at number 1, I have Trey Benson from Florida State. He's 6'1", 223 pounds. I gave him an 87 late first round grade, the highest graded running back I have in this class. And my player comparison for him is Le'Veon Bell. They both have that kind of upright, patient style that you see, that you've seen from Le'Veon Bell when he was in his prime. But don't let that, fool you. He's still able to hit the hole hard and able to, make some guys miss and turn on the jets when he needs to. And when you look at his 2023 stats, he had 156 carries for 905 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 5.8 average. Trey Benson might be the most complete back in this class. He's got the size, the strength as a power back, but he also has the breakaway speed, acceleration, and pass catching ability to be a third down back. He's patient as a runner, and once he finds the hole, it's off to the races. His ball security is solid. His vision is above average as well. His durability is in question after a gruesome injury back in 2020. He literally tore every single ligament in his knee and in his leg. It was pretty bad, but he's really bounced back after that. And he does kind of go quiet in some games. Some games he just pops off. Other times he kind of gets a little bit, corralled. But the big question is, can he pass block? It's a big thing for me as a evaluator. And these questions that need to be answered, sure. But I like his tape, and I think he might be the best overall back in this class. So with that being said, those are my top 5 running back prospects in the 2024 NFL Draft. These are guys that there's potential to be called on day one in the late round. More than likely, these are guys that are going to get picked on day 2, and there's going to be some value there for sure. I think that there's some good backs, some guys like Trey Benson, who was, you know, an overall back. Obviously, the big name here, I think, is Blake Corm. After winning a national championship with Michigan, you know, all eyes are going to be on him as well. Jonathan Brooks, how he recovers from that injury. And Brandon Allen, you know, can he be more than just a power back? Can he really clean up those ball security issues and be able to, you know, show that he can be a, you know, third down, all down back? And then Bucky Irving, you know, can he stay healthy? Can he hold up in the NFL, being a smaller, you know, less compact back? I think that, you know, you've seen backs his size. The longevity of a career for a back is just so short, especially compared to all the other positions. Running backs are replaceable, sure, but these guys are going to definitely find a home in the NFL, and I can see them having successes in the right system as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. I'll be doing tight ends next for the prospect video, so stay tuned for more content. And as always, stay hungry, Lions fans and NFL fans.